Thanks, John.
Yeah, so we're like, since y'all really can't hear, I'll explain. Like, what's going on, right, is these people in Brazil are like waiting for the dolphins to show up. They like come up and show up, and they signal when to throw their nets and stuff. And they like, you know, these aren't trained or anything kind of dolphins. They're completely wild animals, and they just come up and like, you know, they come up, do the little flip up, and they show how big a school is by how far they jump up on the water and stuff, and they come up and like signal when to throw their nets, and they help these dudes like catch all these fish. And you know, they don't really do it for any reason except just to help them, and you know, they get all the other spare fish that escape and they get to eat it. Alright, that's good, I guess. Alright, so have any of you been to like SeaWorld or anything? Have y'all like seen like killer whales and stuff like that, like dolphins? Alright, so in the shows and stuff like that, you know, they train these dolphins to do like all these cool tricks for like corporatization and for, you know, to make money and entertain people. So have any of y'all seen like the movie Dolphin Tale or anything? Yeah. Well, like, also in that movie, you know, they basically just make dolphins look like they're these cute and innocent creatures when in reality they're not. They don't really give credibility to what like reality in what the wild, like what a dolphin really is. So like due to the corporatized view of dolphins, people actually underestimate their actual intelligence and their actual skills. I'm going to show you like, you know, some of these points. Like I'm going to show you the hunting and communication skills, how social and helpful these animals actually are to other species, and how they're able to take on like creatures like a shark and survive. Because you know, most people can't, even people really can't do that. Alright, so hunting and communication. Alright. Well, they travel in these pods, right? And it varies from each, you know, type of dolphin. Like, you know, certain ones will travel in these tight, knitted family groups. It's like about 4 to 5, and it's like actual who they mated with, their, you know, children dolphins. Or some of them will travel in these humongous things that are like, you know, vary from like 50 to 100. And so like the river dolphin and the killer whales, those are the ones that, for example, those will travel in like the smaller groups. And then dolphins like the spotted and the common dolphin will travel in the larger ones. And so what they do is they get to know each other. They're basically like, it's all like family. Like they're like people. Like they socialize with each other, they get to know each other, and they create these sort of bonds with each other that just make them like a better team and things. And they have this unique ability to where like they have these clicks they can make, right? And each click, each dolphin has its own set click, and they use those as names for each other. So they can like call out to each other by using that one click, and it's for a specific dolphin. And the next thing is that they rely on this thing called like echolocation. It's a lot like sonar, where they can they can like emit this sound wave, right? And they can bounce it off of an object, and it'll bounce back to them. So it kind of like lets them know where it is. So they can just be like in, you know, a place where they can't really see well, and they can emit these sounds that'll let them know their surroundings. They can find out like if a shark's nearby, if, you know, the fish they want to eat are nearby, can find like a freaking rock on the floor or something if they want to. You know, just anything. They can find any sort of surrounding that they want. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about how social and caring these animals are towards each other and other species. So as I said, they create these like strong bonds with each other, and they care and look out for each other. So like if one of the dolphins is injured, another one, if needed, will like help it to the surface for air, or they'll even go like get air for the other dolphin and like somehow breathe it back into it. It's really weird. Alright, now I'm going to tell you a story about this dolphin named Mako. He was a dolphin, you know, like tagged by these other scientists on this beach, and so these two pygmy sperm whales were trapped in between like a sandbar in the beach, right? And they can't get out. Like they're just stuck in there, and they don't know how to navigate. They don't even know how they got in there, and don't know how to get out. So this guy Malcolm Smith, and he's a Department of Conservation worker, and some of his other buddies are trying to like get him out, and they can't do it. And then the dolphin comes up and just like shows them the way out, and gets them to safety, and it's all good. And the guy actually witnessed it. So like that's the thing. They actually help other species. They're kind of like people. Some people, anyways, they're selfless. And then like the whole dolphin fishing thing, like in La Guana and Brazil, like it's called human dolphin cooperative fishing. And they just come up and help these people for not really any reason, and just help them, with their life and catch fish and food, And so they also like are instances where dolphins will come up on certain beaches and they'll just like, screw with people. Just like, they'll just mess with them and play with them, and they'll play with each other. They'll just come up on the beach and you'll just be like swimming in the water, and next thing you know, a dolphin's just trying to mess with you. Just be funny, It's really cool. All right, next slide. All right, so dolphins versus sharks. A lot of people don't really know a whole lot about it and just think that dolphins can like beat the crap out of a shark and things like that. But in reality, it's really like, well, first, okay, so they're natural enemies with the sharks, right? NewsDiscovery.com calls it a quote-unquote bronze versus brains. So like the sharks are very lethal, dangerous creatures that could easily like, take out a dolphin if it just bit it once or something. But the dolphin is a super smart, intelligent creature that can easily like figure out a way to survive, maneuver out, kick it, something that can like, so it can avoid, a shark. And as I said earlier, they travel in these pods, but they do it for protective reasons. So like if they see a shark and it's by themselves, they might not just like want to go up and fight it, but they'll be like, hey, if I got my buddy Joe and Fred over here, I can easily like take this dude on and kick the crap out of him, It's pretty cool. And so they're known to gang up on sharks. Like there was this one instance where this guy's like swimming, right, and he's filming all these sharks, and then a hammerhead just coming up like trying to bite him when he's at the surface. And all these dolphins just come up and just like scare it away and save his life. Like like I said, they're selfless creatures, and they'll put themselves in harm's way for a human. And so these scientists in Bahama they found about 92 dolphins on the beach, right, and they studied them and tagged them all, and they found that 14 out of the 92 actually have like shark-induced scars and injuries. And if you compare that, like, you take that into mind and you compare it to like a worldly ratio about how many dolphins there actually are, like, just even if you just said 14 times 100, that's 1,400 dolphins that can take on a shark and actually like live to tell the tale, And there was actually a lot of dolphins out of that 92 that had injuries like that, but they were unable to indicate whether they were shark-induced or not. And there are also like these cool dolphins, like killer whales and orcas. I didn't even know those were dolphins. I thought they were whales, but they're actually dolphins. Those dudes literally can eat a great white shark. Like they literally eat them for breakfast. They can literally just come up and just prey on them whenever they want. Like I think that's cool. Next slide. Okay, well, sorry, I forgot. But okay, I don't really have a next slide, I just have a conclusion. But so dolphins aren't just the cute and playful creatures that people actually make them out to be. They're actually these super smart, intelligent creatures. And I prove this by showing you their communication skills, how helpful and social they are towards other creatures and species like humans and other animals. And, they can survive taking on a shark. So I hope I've opened your eyes to the actual reality of what a dolphin truly is.